Lanzora IV, Orion.
Why are you stubborn?
Genetic birth defect, I think. It goes back to having been a chef, coming through a similar system in the kitchen. You're taught, not to quit. You can't just decide to up and quit. You finish when the job's done, and that's how I've always been.
Job's not done.
Job's not done. Timothy Thatcher had a great saying of the age you get into wrestling is the age you tend to stay in wrestling, because it's not the normal world. It's its own little subdivision. So I've learned that the younger somebody gets into wrestling, the more immature they seem to be. And then obviously if you get in a bit older, you seem to have a bit more life experience. I'm Warren Walters, I'm 35 years old, I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I've learned that it's very similar to my background as a chef with the hierarchy. And I've learned that it's really about the bonds. It is an individual endeavor, but it's more teamwork than people probably understand. And you got to look out for your brothers. And if you're not doing that in the training, and if you're not doing that in the cleaning and the general things that get done around the house and the dojo, then you're showing that you're not going to do that in the ring.
Probably needs more salt.
Shut the fuck.
I put a nipple.
Right, well, I'm going to cook shut.
Kind of had shoulder issues now since I was about 18. I was in a car accident. My shoulder just didn't feel right. We were doing mongrel sit-ups and I had Rich on my back. Rich is about 160 kgs. The second or third rep, my arm just couldn't take it anymore. Shoulder kind of just gave way. Whole arm went down. I had lost feeling in my bottom 3 fingers. Doctor said it's probably just a stinger, so hopefully I'll have full feeling back in my fingers in the next month. But as far as my shoulder, basically preparing for the worst of surgery, which surgery's going to mean that's it for me in the ring. So I guess I'm kind of the grumpy old person in the house. The joke's been made that I'm kind of the dad at the house because I'll growl at the guys when they do silly things. I mean, I was a chef for 17, 18 years. So I was in leadership positions in the kitchen. When I was younger and I played sport, I was a captain in my AFL team. And I try and do as much as I can for the guys, make sure we've got everything for Chunko, cleaning stuff for the house and the dojo, that sort of thing, because unfortunately at the moment I'm unable to train. As a kid, I was always brought up around food and sharing food. And to me, food's always been an experience and something to be shared. When you see people enjoy the food, that's enough. I was never really taught to take praise for doing your job. So smiley, happy faces and full bellies, that's all you need. I made the decision in November of last year to come over. My mum's family is from here. I was born in Australia, but I have citizenship through descent. So I contacted Mark's son about coming over. Before I left Australia, I was working as a chef, so I was doing quite a few hours a week. I think my last week there, I did 108 hours in 8 days because I was just working to save everything I could. So when I came here, I could just solely focus on wrestling. I had come in with the mindset of, I'm 35, this is kind of my last shot. So to get an injury, it's pretty devastating, but at the same time, I've had great chats with Fale-san and Mark-san. Fale-san and I have a very similar mentality of everything happens for a reason, and maybe my path just isn't in wrestling, just isn't in the ring. Maybe my path's doing something else in wrestling. It sucks. It means that I can't do what I want to do. I feel like it's leaving unfinished business on the table because I've never got to actually get in the ring and have a match. But if that's my path, that's my path. So.
We are here at Mission Bay near Auckland City, going for our morning walk just before training. It's been a pretty tense couple of days for them. The morale's been boosted though, because we've just announced our first exhibition fights for them. They have a week to prepare for their matches this Saturday in front of a live paying audience. So it should be good. We're 6 weeks in now, and in these types of environments, obviously injuries are gonna happen. Warren's been out since week 2, but he showed a lot of heart helping the boys get ready. Mitch has got injuries, AV as well, and now Mike's injured too.
Now we're wrestling on Tuesday, and then T fell on my ankle. And then it's not a tear or anything. It's just a bad sprain. So I should be good for Saturday, hopefully. We'll see how I feel this week.
It's more of a miscommunication. This is what happens. You don't communicate with who you're working with. That's why people get hurt. Sometimes die. It's the reality of our business. It's a dangerous thing that we do. I give it up to anyone that pursues this as a professional career. But you have to be mentally prepared to go all the way, to do it properly.
You see some of the people that have left this place and they've gone over to make a name for themselves in America, back home in Australia, and then transition to other parts of the world. So you hear that it's tricky and it's tough here, and that you learn a lot. But I think really the biggest thing is the opportunities that could come from here, and that was the huge thing that I saw.
At the top, come back down, that's one. We'll be here counting 20.
Hey!
Back home in Australia, I work as a sales and marketing coordinator for a property developer. Been in the property industry for 7 years now. It's the only industry I've ever worked in outside of wrestling. My name is Mitch Shoemaker, 24, and originally I'm from a small regional town called Toowoomba, but now I live in Brisbane, Australia. I was involved in a handful of team sports growing up, but for the most part, I did a lot of solo stuff. And so coming into here, I've never felt more a part of a team. I mean, we live together, we train together, we clean together. We're always together 24/7 this whole time. And so the bond that I have with these guys is second to none. I mean, I'm an only child. Like, I don't have brothers or sisters that are blood, but these guys, like, I've never been closer with other people that aren't my family.
Breathe, keep moving.
My fascination with wrestling began in 2005. I actually went on a family holiday to the US, and I think I was in Times Square when I saw a huge billboard of a wrestling show that was on at Madison Square Garden. And it just the people on the picture and everything. I was like, what is this? I was only 8 years old. As soon as we got back to the hotel, it's all I wanted to try and find on TV, and almost like a miracle, it was on TV at the time that we went to look. And I watched it and just instantly fell in love. It's the only thing for me that has stuck with me my whole life. I've never grown out of it like a lot of people do. My love for it just changed over time. Instead of looking at it through the eyes of a kid, I looked at it from the point of view of an athlete and a sports person. And here I am. I've just never stopped loving it.
So when I was growing up, it wasn't kind of common knowledge how to get into wrestling. I didn't find out until my late 20s kind of a pathway into wrestling. Sorry?
No excuses, eh?
No excuses. Jake's son's impressed me a lot. He's already been to Japan though. He's a bit older, he's 28, and has a lot of experience in wrestling as well. But he's also a natural leader, and he's just come in and helped steer the ship. T, he's young, but he's got life experience. Like, he's lived in the States, he's lived in Australia. He's clearly a natural athlete. Always positive, great attitude, not just in wrestling, but in life. Like, you need to be positive, you need to have a good attitude. I know that from kitchens. You might not be the greatest worker, but if you've got the right attitude, everybody's teachable.
Push.
Shot boys. Other Australian boys, Sebastian, Tim, Mitch, they've come over. They've got wrestling experience, but they've just come in and they're putting in the work. There are guys that have been here before that still, I don't know, they still aren't getting it mentally. Being on the outside injured, I can kind of look in, and there's guys that don't put hard in, there's guys that do, like Rich. Rich is a big guy. Rich puts 100% into everything he does. He puts so much heart into it. He just doesn't stop, and he always gives his best. And then you've got other guys that don't. As somebody who can't train at the moment, it's heartbreaking to see there's guys that can do stuff that just don't want to do it because they don't want to push themselves.
2021 for me has been actually a terrible year for wrestling. This year, I broke my foot. 2 weeks later, I fractured my sternum. 6 weeks after that, I shattered my hand. And then about 4 weeks before I came here, I separated my shoulder. So I think I was here for 10 days before I hurt my shoulder again. And so we've had some really mentally tough training sessions the last few days. And I know team morale's been a little bit bruised. And so this morning we got to the dojo and sat down. Instead of doing our regular clean, Fale-san, Mark-san, Tony-san were all there, and we just had a chat. Some guys had their frustrations, and for me, I had sadness. Like, for me, I shared with the group that I'm really struggling with my with being away from my partner, being away from my family. I had a bit of a breakdown, and we all got through it, and yeah, we're all a good team like that.
Need you.
Good work, Dan.
To be here and to be training my ass off every single day with the cleaning and the mindset and the mentality that we have here is, yeah, hard times now, but we suffer now and we'll get through it.
We were working as a team at the beginning, but then they said, you know what, Dan? If you finish, we all finish. I was like, all right, then. Guess I gotta take us all with us. So I took them with me. We're going to the top. My Jordan's kicking in. We want to get this sprint. Ready?
Let's go.
Together.
Good.
Slide up.
I truly sympathize for these guys that are struggling, and we know what they're going through because I've been through all of it. What we're teaching them is that they can do it too. And this is where the work begins. The sacrifices, the time you invest in yourself for the opportunity. I did this to go to New Japan. So the question for all these guys is, how much do you really want it? That's not for me to answer. It's for them. And I truly hope they find some clarity in this program, because I know what we're doing is right at the New Zealand Dojo. But is it right for them?
It's a good day today. Quick training session this morning. We are going to set up the other ring, get ready for the exhibition on this Saturday. To be honest, I'm so pumped. I'm ready to go. We've got the team here. We've got the tools. Let's go.
Once it gets set up, we can like wrestle in our own time. Like when we're at the house, we can practice like moves and shit like that. It's good to be back in this ring because this is what I started wrestling in when I first joined the dojo. And yeah, it's gonna be good. Like really brings back old memories. Father-son built this ring with his own hands, and we had all the top New Japan stars come into this ring. So like Okada-san, Tamashii-san, all the top New Japan stars, they've been in this ring. And the canvas that we used for this ring, it was the G1 Climax final in 2016 when Kenny Omega won the G1. Like me and AV, we always had so many matches in this ring. But yeah, a lot of history with this ring, a lot of heritage.
So we're gonna get the boys to set it up while Chef Warren here cooks us a barbecue. Get the boys to train on it. So it also helps when we're not training, they can get in there and do their own stuff. Some of them have wrestled before, some of them have never. You know, it's a test. It'll show them where they are and where they need to get to, and hopefully light a fire under their asses to get to where they need to go.
Ever since I joined this program, is just be a sponge. Like even setting up this ring, I like know nothing, and I'm like literally just waiting for direction. I'm just cluing, just trying to get clued in and just try to be as helpful as possible. And that translates into working towards this Saturday, just putting in all the effort, all like everything I can do that's in my power, just to get ready. Because I've been training with these guys for weeks, so it'd be awesome to just see them in there, and you know, to see who they are, you know, to see how they express themselves, and I'm excited for it.
I think a couple of the younger guys have been struggling a little bit, like mentally. The guys from Oz being away from their families. If they ever want to talk or anything, they know they can always come and I'll listen. Because a couple of the guys don't really understand that there's more to life than just wrestling, and they're just constantly all wrestle talk all the time. Which I know a couple of the guys, need a bit of break from that. I'm trying to compete this weekend. That's up to Tony's son at the end of the day if he lets me or not. But I've probably been annoying him enough that I think he might just let me do it to shut me up. The way I look at it is my shoulders, it's cooked. It's not going to get any better. I got in the ring on Sunday with Tony's son and a couple of the boys. I got in there and I managed to pin one of the guys just while having one arm. So I want to do it. It's just whether or not I'm going to be allowed to.
Heading into the exhibition, I feel like physically I'm probably at about 85, 90%. But because my shoulder injury, I have to kind of train around it. So it throws me off a little bit. But I mean, Saturday it's all guns blazing. So shoulder or no shoulder, I've got no choice when I'm in there with the brothers. So mentally it hasn't swayed me, but physically I'm not 100%.
Jump around, see how it feels.
It's really good to be back in the ring, to finally get in here and to finally start wrestling around. It's like I'm home again. Literally my home away from my home.
Take a few bumps if you can. How's it feel?
Feels all right.
I think the biggest thing that they've been looking for throughout this intake is the people that don't give up. I need to show heart and I need to show these guys that I belong here.
Next week, roll, ikimasu! Hey!
Oh, shit!
Let's go! Woo! Let's go! Let's go! Come on!
Tutti the mainga iwi, tato tato e. Tutti the mainga iwi, tato tato e.
Where's the ref in this match?
Mete aroha, enga iwi kiata. This is what I got.
I love my life back home, and to leave that and to come here to live a life that's very different to what I know. Honestly, it's been far more difficult than I ever imagined it would be. I can't let myself tap out. I can't let myself give up. I've thought about it, but I just mentally can't do it. I can't leave here until it's done.
Tony, grab his leg. Grab his leg. Grab his leg. You ready for this? Ooh, that one hurt.
That's
so good. Salsa, baby!
Go, Chachka. Get a triple arm. Get a triple arm. Okay, guys, I want to feel the energy. When I say turn around or when I say pukana, I want to see and hear that lion's roar. Ready? Pukana!
Are you confident going into Saturday with this team?
No. I always worry that someone's going to try to show off, and that's not what this is about. We've had a broken jaw, we've had concussions, because they get excited in front of a live crowd and try to do things that they've never tried. Do what you know. When they started doing just what they know instead of trying to get silly, they look better. They look great. If they can stick to that and they understand that, the other guys see that, Saturday could be great. So.
The best outcome for me personally would be to be able to get a job in wrestling. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's not the end of the world. Best case scenario, I think, with this intake is just help the guys as much as I can, try and make it and try and get through and help them succeed.